We love our Canadian brother in arms against dumb fuck fascists. Doing some more Canada coverage. Or, well, honestly, talk about people who are doing more Canada coverage than I am. Well, we got, like, Pierre Polyev has unveiled his newly released platform. Oh boy. We can only assume how probably dog shit it is. David Dole, David Dole, David Dole. What do you got to say, buddy?
A new conservative government with a responsible plan to save $125 billion.
These numbers are a joke.
Sure, man.
We aren't in a joke. We are in the worst crisis of our lives.
It is now just 6 days to the Canadian election, and the Conservative Party has finally released its costed platform. And the reaction to it is...
Like, really? Yeah, it is. It's 6 days left, and their platform is out now. So that means this whole time... Because Pierre Poilievre has been running, like, a dog shit campaign. The Conservative campaign is really bad. So much so that other, like, Conservative pundits are just, like, saying, like, dude, this is some fucking ass, bro. Like, this is really bad campaigning. And like they're just making fun of him basically. It's really funny. Basically, like, really all Pierre has been running off of is just like, guys, we're gonna remove DEI and wokeness and just having Trump's rhetoric on the campaign trail. Like, he's been bragging about his fucking crowd sizes, talking about wanting to remove woke ideology. You know, it's the same, like, it's the same dumbass shit, to be honest. He's got, like, nothing because he knows, like, people, broadly speaking, don't really like him, which is why the conservatives are doing as bad as it is. I was having a talk with a buddy of mine. He's a liberal. He's very liberal. Buddy of mine was saying, like, dude, like, pretty much the biggest reason is because they changed the leadership with the Liberal Party to Mark Carney because, like, people are sick of the bullshit. I'm like, I don't disagree with that. I do think that's a factor to play, but I also think a big part of it is, like, Pierre Poilievre gives off dog shit vibes, and no one likes his vibes. Nobody likes him. He tries to be personable, but everyone can, broadly speaking, sniff out that it's completely fake politician bullshit. He tries to, like, to do the fucking whole blue collar worker shit, that whole shtick, because, like, he wants to appeal to those people because he thinks that they're right wing, and that's what Trump did. But keep in mind, Pierre Poilievre is a guy who has only worked within politics in the House of Commons for the past 20 years. He's through and through, like, an Ottawa swamp creature. You know, take a little bit of rhetoric from, like, you know, Republicans on that one. He is through and through a politician first. He has never been a working man. He's never been, like, this sort of, like, very popular figure. He's full of shit, and broadly speaking, a lot of people have, like, been able to sniff that out. But what do we got here? What's his policy platform?
Interesting. So in this video, I'm going to get to something that I caught in the platform that is just incredibly dishonest, but we'll get there shortly. I'll also get to Mark Carney's reaction to it, which is rather blunt, and details about just big picture what is in this platform. So let me first start with just details about the election, because so far a record 7.3 million Canadians have already voted. That's an increase from the 5.8 million who voted in 2021, who voted early.
That's really bad news for the Conservatives. Like, typically the people who tend to vote early and with, like, mail-in ballots and stuff like that tend to be liberals. So the fact that is an increase about 1.5 million, the likelihood that a lot of those voters are going to be liberal voters, pretty high. This is already pretty bad for, well, Pierre and the Conservatives. Of course, they also tend to skew older. A lot of people who tend to go in advance because they have the time to do that, right? And a lot of young people tend to vote on the same day. I'm probably going to go vote on the same day as well because I've got really nothing better to do. So, and I've got time for myself. I can just go in and vote. Where do I even vote? Where do I vote? Excuse me. I guess the advanced voting days, I can't do that anymore. Those days are past. Oh well, that's fine. A church? That's where I voted last time as well. I just went to a church. Just did a big walk to a church. I'm gonna do the same thing. Probably not that far from here. Anywho, you know, ruminating about, like, the voting aside, I think my district, I have to look into who my riding voted for last time. I think I'm in one of the few green districts. So my choices for who to vote for are rather flexible, to be honest. I can just vote for whoever, right? And that's fine. No, honestly, I should probably still... Do I vote for the Liberals? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I think I'm in a green district anyways. Let's see. What do we got here? A lot of people who increased in terms of voting, you know, ruminating about, like, the voting aside, increase of 1.5 million voters. Yeah, that's not good for conservatives. Because generally speaking, a lot of people who vote early tend to be more left-leaning. Or at least that's with mail-in ballots. I'm not sure about early voting. A lot of older people tend to vote early, right? Because they have time. But, you know.
In 2021. So I don't know what this says about results. I'm not sure it says anything, but it's good to see that people are going out to vote and voting early. I like to see that. But let's get to this platform. So I will link to this below the video.
The platform.
It is called Change for an Affordable Life for Safer Streets.
Bro's trying to be Obama. Hope and change. What are you? Mobambo?
For Canada First. I like how, like, nobody was crying about crime until you brought it up and made it a thing. Again.
Yeah, again, I also, like, looked at this, like, during the debate, like, the crime statistics in Canada, they've, like, gone up a little bit from, like, where they were before. They have gone up. There's been a slight increase, but that's somewhere from, like, 2.4 million incidents to, like, 2.7 million incidents or some shit across the entirety of the country. I have to find which graph I looked at exactly. Was it here? It was the statistics here. Yeah, like, obviously went down during the pandemic because everyone was stuck inside, although not by that much. And it's gone up, like, a little bit. There's no 2024 results here, but I assume this trend has probably not really changed all that much, right? But, what, total all violations? 2.5 million up from, like, 2.4 million? Because we're not going to really count the pandemic era, because it's, like, gone up, like, a little bit. Maybe by, like, a percentage point. That's it. So, like, is it, like, oh, man, sweet, there's a huge crime wave that's, like, going on. In comparison to what it was in the 90s? Not really. Let's be honest.
Historically, crime is down from where it was. But okay, whatever. Safe streets being one of the main subheadings here is a little bizarre. That said, the platform pledges $75 billion in tax cuts, referendums before future tax hikes. So I'll get to a little more detail.
Referendums before future tax hikes. So what does that mean exactly? Like, tax hikes on what? Like, in general? Like, even, like, there's going to be referendums, so can people vote on, you know, tax hikes on, like, corporations or something? Like, most people are going to broadly agree with that. I have a feeling that it's going to be, like, referendums only in the House of Commons. But the strategy like this is only going to work if the Conservatives are in the majority, which I don't see it, man. Like, their campaign has been just run so poorly. Like, they tried to do, like, a recent, like, ad that you could, like, literally pull out from the 70s or some shit. Because, like, they're trying to not have Pierre in the fucking spotlight. They're trying to pull him away more and more from the fucking spotlight because, broadly speaking, the Conservatives understand, like, yeah, this guy kind of fucking sucks. And he's costing us the election. So it's just, like, they try to, like, be in touch with, like, average blue-collar sort of, like, Canadian workers. But the two dudes they have predominantly talking in this ad are, like, golfers, like, dad golfers. Like, it's a little weird, guys. Like, if you want to get into tune with, like, your average blue-collar, like, working Canadian man, I don't think the first person you should think of is, old white dude fucking, out in the drive just golfing. They're trying to, like, talk about, like, kitchen table issues. Talk about, like, man, I have to, like, pay for, like, my kid's thing. Well, then why don't you have, like, the kids there talking about, like, oh, man, like, Mark Carney's, like, agenda's really rising up the costs. Why have, like, are they afraid of losing the fucking golf ads or some shit? Is that why? It's weird. The messaging is off. It's strange. But, you know, that's just, like, one random example of just, like, how poorly the Conservatives are, like, running their campaign. Like, the generational fumble that they've been having. But, yeah, let's keep going.
In discussion around that in a minute here. I first want to bring up the first thing that I searched in this platform. And that is unions. Because Pierre Poilievre has been so adamant about claiming he is for the working class.
True.
I am standing up for the
been.
working class against the greed of corporations and all his...
Dude, this is also the same dude who's been talking about, like, electricians being able to, like, harness lightning to power up buildings. It's so fucking stupid, man.
His entire career, 20 years
So
of his career,
dumb,
has been
bro.
doing the opposite, but we'll get there.
That's
He writes
true.
in this platform, or I should say the party writes in this platform, respecting union rights. No return to anti-union bills like Bill C-377 or C-525, and no right to work laws. Interesting. Let's go back in history, shall we? So no more bills like C-377. Oh, damn that bill.
A quick Google.
That conservative bill.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. A conservative pushed for Bill C-377. An act to amend the Income Tax Act. Requirements for labor organizations. So basically, from what I understand, and David Dole gets into this, is it makes it harder for unions to be able to put in, like, the taxes, the tax sheets they need for their union dues, making it harder to form unions. Guys, wait, I thought we were trying to be pro-union here. Pierre? What's going on here?
Pierre Poilievre voted for, while the other parties
Pierre, what's going on? I thought we were pro-union, bud. What's up? What's happening?
voted against.
Ah, that's a little weird.
Oh, but how about C-525? Oh, that C-525,
that one?
very
Yeah.
terrible. We were very against that. No more bills
True.
like 525, the conservative-sponsored bill.
Another conservative bill. Whoa, it's a little weird. Why do these conservatives hate unions so much? That's a little weird. What, an act to amend the Canada Labor Code, the Parliamentary Employment and Staff Relations Act, and the Public Service Labor Relations Act, certification and revocation, bargaining agent. Is this like to make like bargaining of unions harder? I think I don't remember exactly what this bill is about.
That once again, Pierre Poilievre voted for, while the other parties voted against it.
Hmm.
But how about right to work? They're very against right to work,
True.
except for the fact that Poilievre has been a big booster of U.S.-style right to work laws.
Got some real fucking pro-union guys here, you know? These guys are really pro-union. I think it's really funny, you know, because right-to-work laws, it's just like, it's explicitly anti-union. It's anti-scab stuff, right? Like, or not anti-scab. Right-to-work laws basically say, like, you know, if you're a worker and you're non-union and you want to go work, like, during a strike, so if you want to be a scab, you can be a scab. Protecting scabs' rights, basically, which is silly and stupid, obviously. I remember, like, all the big, like, teacher strikes that happened because of, like, just how poorly their budgets were managed by the Liberals. This happened, like, forever ago. This is local Ontario shit. Like, there were constant, like, scab workers going in at all times to like, TA and do work. Because the unions were asking for, like, higher pay because they get paid like dog shit. So all the TAs went on, like, strike over that and shit. And I remember, like, my professors, like, complaining about that shit. Or one of them in particular was complaining about it because she's a tenured professor. And she's just like, dude, like, these strikes are, like, so dumb, bro. It's just like, I mean, aren't they just asking for, like, more pay mostly? Like, I mean, I know we don't have TAs because for whatever reason they never asked for TAs or something. I don't know. It's just weird. But yeah. That's, like, the thing that basically sunk the Liberals in this province for, like, probably, like, a decade or some shit. How poorly they mismanaged that whole fucking crisis. It was such a shit show. And they're probably never going to recover. Oh, well. Don't come to Ontario, by the way. You don't live in this fucking province. This province is a fucking shithole.
So, it's just, when you see something like this, something that is so incredibly dishonest,
True.
completely ignores what the Conservative Party is, what they have fought for in their entire existence.
Decades.
How can you possibly trust anything in this platform?
True.
So it's beyond insane.
And this is just
As
one example,
the Public
right?
Service Alliance of Canada writes here, this is about the bills, just to be clear what they were about. These bills were designed to weaken unions by forcing redundant and unreasonable financial reporting and by making it more difficult for Canadians in federally regulated workplaces to join a union.
Yeah, so more difficult to make unions, and yeah, financial reporting becomes a fucking pain in the ass for, like, union dues and shit. Just like this summarizes.
The Conservative Party has always been very openly anti-union.
True.
To pretend the opposite now, that Pierre Poilievre is going to be different when his career, like, it's one thing if he was, you know, the one member of the party that was always fighting on behalf of unions and the working class, and then you could say, okay, well, the party was that, The party was anti-union, but now they're going to be different because Pierre Poilievre's at the head of it. But in fact, he's been the attack dog against unions again and again. He's been one of the leading voices attacking unions.
And hopefully, like, I know that the liberal, like, social media team has been quite good on this. They should immediately pick this up and be like, yeah, this guy, he's full of shit. He's not for unions. He's against blue-collar work. Look at his voting record. Easy. That's like the super easy fucking attack angle.
Unions. So to pretend that he, as the head of the party now, is going to change things to be more pro-union is just completely ridiculous.
That's true.
So just to make it clear here, between 2004 and 2023, Poilievre voted against federal anti-scab legislation, not once, not twice, but 8 times. So again and again, his whole career has been about...
Yeah, that's the right to work law shit, right? That's the point of it. Very, very funny. Or, yeah, it's supposed to attack anti-scab shit. That's the point.
Fighting against unions. So, like, I don't even care what's in this platform at this point, because that's the obvious dishonesty at the heart of what he is trying to argue his campaign is about.
Yeah, because if they're willing to be blatantly dishonest about shit like this, what else are they being dishonest about? That's like the immediate question that should pop up in your head. It's just like, okay, so they're clearly lying about this. What else in there are they clearly lying about? Because you can't trust conservatives. All they do is just lie. They're full of it. They're liars. They're charlatans. I've talked about this before. Never trust or believe in anything that comes out of conservatives.
Which is for the working class, when it clearly is not about that.
Nope.
Not to mention, anti-union lobby groups are endorsing Pierre Poilievre's conservatives.
I wonder why they're doing that.
So this is references here. Merit Canada, which represents non-union employers in the construction sector. So Merit Canada backing Pierre Poilievre. Who are they? Well, during the Harper era, Merit Canada was one of the most active corporate lobbyists in the Prime Minister's office. So they heavily pushed Bill C-377, the bill that the party now claims to be against.
Whoa, an anti-union lobbyist group pushing for anti-union fucking laws to the conservatives, and the conservatives adopting those positions? Oh my god, say it ain't so. I am so shocked and surprised that this is the case. Who would have thought that who would have thought that this is conceivable? Incredible.
They are supporting Poilievre. Well, like, it's just crazy. Poilievre was a prominent supporter of the bill and also called for legislation that would make union dues optional, a cornerstone of right-to-work laws that, again, they now claim they're against, that undermine the collective bargaining process. Quote, I'm the first federal politician to make a dedicated push towards this goal, said Poilievre about introducing right-to-work legislation. Oh, but they're very...
Yeah, didn't he have, like, like, not a press conference. There's, like, a video of him quite saying this, I'm pretty sure, right? Like a decent amount of time ago? Like, what, like 4 years ago, probably, I think? I have like this like strange recollection of a video of Pierre Poilievre talking about right to work laws and him pushing for it.
No more of those right to work laws. Damn those politicians who fought for that stuff, like our leader of the party.
Yeah.
So, let me get to Pierre Poilievre just giving an overview of what his platform is about.
It is a plan that will lower taxes and debt by getting rid of bureaucracy, consulting fees, waste, and excessive foreign aid to dictators, terrorists, and global bureaucracy. It is a plan.
What the fuck does that even mean? It's just buzzwords, right? The brain of the conspiratorial conservative has been titillated. Global bureaucracy, what, like the UN, like aid organizations? What the fuck does that even mean? Waste. What's waste mean? I don't know. Fucking bibbly bobbly boopily boppily. I don't know. Fucking those are words. They mean things. They're stuff. What he means by probably waste is he wants to fire a bunch of people and send them out to the fucking private sector. Every single time with these fucking conservatives. It's no different. Like, you know, I'm anticipating like Canadian Department of Government Efficiency or whatever to be established. Be like, all right, let's start like slashing and burning, getting rid of random fucking bullshit, and just you know, send a bunch of public workers in the private sector, because that's what conservatives do all the fucking time. Make everything fucking worse for public services. So, because they want all those workers to go to the private sector. That's the point. Every single time. But they'll fail.
Plan to build homes by removing taxes and bureaucracy is a plan for safe streets by locking up criminals.
So, yeah, building housing by getting rid of bureaucracy and taxes? Like, what are you talking about? Again, like I said before, we have a housing crisis because we don't have, like, supply of housing, of which you had a direct hand in playing when you were, you know, housing minister under the Harper government. Or it's not exactly housing minister. He was minister of social something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Social like planning and shit like that. He had a hand in, you know, approving housing projects. He approved like no affordable housing projects. He'll talk about how he built 200,000 homes, which is a number he's not 100% accurate about, but you know, close enough. Whatever. How he built 200,000 homes. Did he actually build them? Well, no. He more than likely gave approvals for them. But like again, there's a lot of different other kinds of housing that exist, right? I can guarantee you, pretty much all of that shit was luxury fucking condos for speculative real estate assets for fucking foreign capital to come in and, you know, speculate on those assets, because that's the point of it. In terms of affordability of those homes, yeah, that was like non-existent. And guess what? Due to the migration waves that fucking happened in Canada, whoa, we had no housing for them. Whoa, housing crisis as a result. Crazy.
Bureaucracy is a plan to build homes by removing taxes, and bureaucracy is a plan for safe streets by locking up criminals for a change. Change to unleash our resources so that we can...
Yeah, I don't, like, I don't understand, like, what crime wave is there. We took a look at the statistics. It's down from, like, the 90s, and it's gone back up a little bit. Like, hardly at all. So, again, what's the crime wave?
Bureaucracy is a plan for safe streets by locking up criminals for a change. Change to unleash our resources so that we can stand on our own 2 feet and stand up to Trump and anyone else from a position of strength. The choice...
So we know what he means by unleashing our resources. He just wants to build, like, more pipelines or some shit. Whatever the fuck that means.
Is this a fourth Liberal term with Mark Carney, whose reckless Liberal plan will add even more debt than Trudeau? Or a new Conservative government with a responsible plan to save $125 billion and put us back on the path to growth and security?
How is he gonna do that? I don't know. Magic. He's gonna wave his like little like fucking magic wand and be like, $125 billion have now been saved. Look at me. It's just like, but you didn't do anything, and now I am off like Tuxedo Mask.
I find it hilarious that Poilievre is positioning his platform as change. It's on the big board in front of him. Change, when this is just your standard conservative platform of massive cuts and very little investment.
Yep.
So these cuts include, by the way, ending funding for the CBC. Now, I did a video.
Oh, he wants to end this. I guess I wasn't fully paying attention when I first watched this video. Yeah, he's been talking a lot about like public media. He wants to have all of our fucking media be privatized. Like CBC, I think, is like our biggest news organization. I think there's CP24 and CBC, which is publicly owned. Like your tax dollars pay for this shit. What is Canada's biggest news station? It should be this. I'm pretty sure it's the CBC and CTV. Yeah. So CTV is privately owned, and CBC is our biggest. Yeah, it reaches the most. Let's see, what's the top 10? I'm curious. Global News, City News, CP24, Weather Network, and we have a Bloomberg subsidiary here. I didn't know that. TSN, and this is all the sports stuff and entertainment stuff. So like TSN, Sportsnet, E. And yeah, City News is, I believe, Toronto only, but Toronto's our, well, it's our biggest city, so it makes sense that they're fucking huge. And yeah, CP24, which is, you know, it's based in Toronto. So yeah, makes sense. I
think it was about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, on 3 months ago. CBC News catches Loblaws overcharging customers. So Loblaws was...
Yeah, and this is why you want to have fucking public media, decommodified media, because guess what? They're more likely to do investigative journalism because they're not being held back by the profit motive. Again, the reason why you, generally speaking, you don't have a lot of like American news media and corporations doing good journalism like this, because this is like the 5th time this has happened in like 3 years. Fucking grocers doing price gouging and bullshit, which seems to fucking happen all the goddamn time. This is the benefit of having public media. CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, is our biggest news aggregate. And, you know, give them more funding if they keep doing good journalism like this. They deserve it. Why not? This is good to know. But, you know, typical, misweighing meat fucking bullshit, price gouging bullshit being done by Loblaws. This isn't the first time they did it. They also did it, I think, with, it was bread prices. They also did some bullshit with bread prices. So, you know, this is why it's good to have publicly owned media, guys. Shit like this.
Selling meat, including the packaging in the weighing of the meat. The reason I bring this up is because it is often CBC doing these sorts of investigations into corporate greed, because corporate-backed media rarely investigates their own being other corporations, because they're all in the same boat.
Because they're all privately owned.
You need places like the CBC to catch this. This is why there's this focus, even though cutting CBC funding is not supported by the majority of Canadians. So including it in the platform.
Yeah, what is the Canadian approval rating of CBC? I'm curious. Canadian approval rating of CBC. What's the polling on this? How much do we like this? Oh, they're gonna do it's gonna be nothing but the fucking party leaders, isn't it? Yeah. That's maybe 338 has a thing about this. Yes, we know. Liberal sweep. Yada yada yada. Thank you. Nah, it's not gonna give me what I want, is it? I know that broadly speaking, it's not popular to cut the CBC because it's just they do good reporting for Canada. Obviously, they do great reporting for us. It's one of our most reliable, sort of news stations.
There was no benefit to him politically to do that. But the benefit to him is that it's assigned to other corporations that he is on their side.
Pretty much.
It's incredibly, I mean, it's dishonest. It's sad that people fall for this kind of crap thinking, oh yeah, this is real change, when this is just...
What else is here? What? Taxpayer Protection Act to ban new or higher federal taxes without asking taxpayers first in a referendum. Oh, that's what it is. So, I guess the point of this is basically, like, have a referendum to probably cynically and, like, say there's, like, a capital gains tax or some shit. They can be, like, cynical about it and market it to people or some shit. And that'll take, like, a whole bunch of time. And then there could be lobbying and marketing campaigns done by the corporations to lobby against, like, capital gains taxes, for example. Random example. Also, yeah, cutting foreign aid, fantastic. We love losing soft power for no fucking reason because, I don't know, stupid, like, xenophobic nationalist bullshit. Whatever. Typical fucking nonsense.
Just back to what conservative governments do. They're also promising a, quote, Taxpayer Protection Act to ban new or higher federal taxes without asking taxpayers first in a referendum. Now, what's hilarious about this is that referendums cost money. Rachel Gilmore, who, by the way, is a fantastic journalist, you should follow her online, writes here, a referendum would be incredibly expensive. Electoral reform would have cost $300 million, for example. Second, good luck ever raising taxes again, including on the rich. So
that's true, yeah. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, the point of it is, like, they just want to, like kick the can down the road. Not kick the can down the road. Just basically, like, make it such that they can just, defer it to random people and be like, well, we're just never going to actually provide the money for the elections and just never hold the referendum, for example. Like, I don't think it really has to go without. It's just a really fucking dumb idea to have to, like, be like, we're going to have constant referendum for new federal prices or federal taxes. Because mostly what are the federal taxes going to go after? It's mostly going to be affected on rich people. That's the point. And people are, like, in their minds, their lizard brains are going to activate and be like, oh, the government wants to raise new taxes on me? I'm going to say no to that because I hate giving the government my taxes or whatever. Stupid bullshit like that. It's a cynical ploy, basically.
So, like, this is just to have to use a referendum
it's
for,
silly.
Say, a tax increase
like,
on the wealthy is bizarre, but would also cost more money than you should need to do.
It's just
for
really fucking
a tax
dumb
increase.
For no reason.
Also, they would lower education requirements for federal civil servants. Why? I don't know, but for some reason that's in here as well. So
I bet it's because they want a bunch of dumbasses. Yeah, they want cops to be federal civil servants. I'm making a bet, They want the dumbest among us to have a better chance or some shit. I don't know. Some insert joke about, like, American cops or some shit.
Let me get to the reaction from
More like ICE agents.
Mark Carney.
There are so many phantom numbers in that platform. But let's start with the approach. With respect to $10 a day childcare, with respect to dental care, farmer care, the approach is, if you already have it, you can keep it, but no one else can have it. So we have two types of Canadians. I thought a Canadian was a Canadian is a Canadian. In our country, that is the case.
That's true.
So you bet if you haven't had children and got them in, you get the point. Secondly, there's a phantom growth that comes from the sky in his platform that arrives and changes his numbers, even though he doesn't have a plan to fight against President Trump. He also has a tax cut, a bring-it-home tax cut that never comes home. It doesn't arrive until year 4 and 5, right? When we see the need of Canadians. Our tax cut compared to his plan, I'll give you one number. He is 4 times larger this year. He's 4 times larger. These numbers are a joke. We aren't in a joke. We are in the worst crisis of our lives. It takes a serious government. It takes a serious plan. It takes a plan that delivers today. It takes a plan that delivers investment. It takes a plan that grows this economy, stands up to Trump, and moves forward with the brilliance of the...
Yeah, what is Pierre Poilievre's like plan to try to take on Trump? Like, I mean, it's just like, so far from what I know is he wants to remove the inter-provincial trade barriers, and like that's it. That's like the only way. It's just like more just faux idiotic isolationist bullshit, which is not going to be effective because it's just like, well, now we have like no one to trade with except for ourselves. It's really fucking dumb.
Workers here and across Quebec and across Canada. This is a real crisis, a real situation. The question is, within a week's time, who's going to be negotiating with President Trump and who's going to be managing the finances of this country? Is it going to be François-Philippe Champagne and myself and our team? Or is it going to be a group that made it up on a napkin, released it a couple of days before the election, and has never taken responsibility for these types of decisions in the past?
That's actually a really good point there by Mark Carney, because like we had no idea what the conservative platform was at all. Because again, all that Pierre has been fucking like campaigning on is his crowd sizes and ending wokeness and DEI and other whatever the fuck other like titillating conservative bullshit words you can just like randomly say.
That's the question.
I love how blunt Mark Carney is being here. In another part of that response, he compares Pierre Poilievre to Trump and how he's importing the ideas from Elon Musk and Donald Trump and trying to make Canada more American. This is the argument that I think liberals should have been making the entire time. That said, they're doing fine, at least based on polling. They don't need my advice. But, you know, Pierre Poilievre is more, his ideas are more right.
I don't know. Like, yeah, with you know, David Dole. Yeah, they probably should have been doing that earlier. But, I mean, their social media team has been doing that. Yeah, doing, like, the side-by-side comparisons of, like, Poilievre and Trump, you know, which is just like, yeah, keep doing that. The negative polarization is really effective.
Right wing, more American, more Republican than any previous conservative leader before him. So making that connection, especially right now, I think is important. It's important Canadians understand that what Poilievre is arguing for is, you know, cuts to services, lower taxes, but cuts to services, making Canada more like what America is. If you like that, then cool. I guess Pierre Poilievre's your guy. If you're aware of how disastrous the current state of the U.S. is, then maybe you understand the problem with that. But as I said before, Mark Carney is the perfect person to put forward a platform with investments, because it's hard to argue against a world-renowned economist and claim that you know more than him. Like, Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Again, this is the guy who navigated why, like, Carney is like the big reason why we got out of the recession pretty well of 2008, and also a big reason for us to why like Britain was able to navigate the crisis, the economic crisis caused by Brexit. Like, literally, Britain called him over and was like, "Hey, fam, like you're like top dog at this shit. We saw what you did in 2008. Can you like help us with our fucking bullshit?" And he's just like, "I got you, fam." And guess what? The British economy is like doing fine basically because of it now. It's like because of that one guy. It's crazy.
On Twitter, after the Liberals released their platform, saying, after the last Liberal decade, Mark Carney today promised $130 billion in new inflationary spending that will drive up taxes, food, and housing costs. Amazingly, Carney plans to run even bigger inflationary deficits than Trudeau has already budgeted.
Bro, this man literally sounds no different than Trump, man. The rhetoric is the same, man. It's all gonna cause inflation. All this spending is gonna cause inflation. Yeah, and your fucking tax cuts aren't inflationary. What are you talking about?
So, this is a 20-year politician with no accomplishments under his belt. Like, I have no problem with career politicians personally if you have dedicated your life to helping people and doing things and you know, actually doing something while you're in there instead of just being a mouthpiece and an attack dog.
That's true.
But Pierre Poilievre has no accomplishments as a 20-year politician.
Yeah, like, what bills has this motherfucker passed? I mean, he's advocated for particular positions. Has he passed anything? No. Not at all.
And he's trying to argue against a world...
I guess, you know, he had a hand to play in our housing crisis, so, yeah, I guess there's that.
...renowned economist on how, you don't understand, your spending is deflationary, it's going to ruin the country. I don't think you're going to win that argument.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I hope people see through this.
I think you might be good,
You know, don't
buddy.
take polling for granted. Make sure you vote if you haven't voted already. It's bizarre times right now to see that there is a conservative leader closer to Trump than ever before at a time when we simply cannot afford somebody like that to lead the country.
That's true. He's spitting. He's spitting. Yeah, like, let's just take a quick look at the fucking polling. Like, this is what it's looking right now, right? Like, right now. This is our 538. It's 338 because that's the amount of seats that exist in Canada. Haha, we're very hilarious and original. So cool and very good. Anywho, yeah, like, like, these are the three, like, solidly conservative fucking provinces. Manitoba is in fucking play, yeah, that's how you know something fucking bad is going on with the fucking Conservatives. Like, not a great situation here at all. And yeah, like, currently what? You need 172 to get the outright majority. Liberals are projected to get 185. Like, this is a really bad look. Even the Liberals are slated to win Quebec, bro. This is typically what the Bloc always fucking win this shit. It's insane, bro. What a fucking disaster. But, you know, I mean, I've talked about this before. Generational fumble by the Conservatives. And, yeah, this is pretty much what I mean. Like, they were slated to have an outright majority. Like, this, I think, was, like, in the 200s. It was going to be a slaughter. And then, you know, Trudeau does the correct thing in resigning. Carney comes in and revitalizes the fucking party. All the dumb fuck... I mean, Trump also significantly helped with all of his rhetoric, trying to call us the fucking 51st state because of, again, let's be honest here. Come on, we're keeping it $1.50. It's the Justin Trudeau. Melania fucking bullshit. We all know the meme. We all know the meme. This is why fucking Trump did all that fucking rhetoric. Bro got put in the fucking cuck chair and he got fucking super triggered about it. He got put in the cuck chair, he was super triggered about it. And yeah, that's pretty much why. And this is the consequences of that. Quite literally being borne out instantaneously. It's fucking crazy, man. It is ridiculous that the Liberals are just have gotten such a ridiculous comeback. It's truly, truly quite incredible, I have to say.